Welcome to Blue Monday, an Ipswich Town podcast for the Rewind Show, where we look forward to looking back at some of the last times we played this weekend's upcoming opponents. Hello, my name is Craig Fimbo. Welcome to the Blue Monday Rewind Show, where we look at the last time we played this weekend's forthcoming opponents in the top division and more matches from the not-so-distant past. Joining me is a man who needs no introduction, so straight on to the matches. No, not really. Remiss of me, Dave. I didn't introduce you properly last week, David Diamond, so I...
Did you not?
No. We just started to chat crap about the number ones in the charts and stuff like that.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, no, good to see you, mate. I know you've been on your travels this week, haven't you? Over to Berlin, haven't you? Lovely.
Yeah, picking up some sunshine in Berlin. Sausage and beer and sunshine. Hey, what a combination.
Is better than that? And then, spoiler alert, recording this on I've got to get this right, the Monday morning, isn't it? The Monday morning after we played Arsenal yesterday. We've already done, me and you have done a lot of 5-minute post-mortem, haven't we? I think that's probably enough, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the German for chastening? Chastening Scheinstrada.
Yeah, I know Scheiser. Yeah, it was another one of those days, almost like we're recording. We're actually doing the flagship show later on this evening. So I said to my lad walking out, I said, "God, bloody flagship show! We can almost cut and paste from Man City at home, Newcastle at home."
Yeah,
perhaps a different narrative with the sending off, but more the same, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure Rich has got some sort of AI bot installed on something or another that he can literally just replace words here and there, and honestly, as you say, cut and paste. Anyway, onto recent non-losses, shall we say. Newcastle United we're going to speak about this week, Dave. I don't know if you heard, in the last couple of weeks, they won the League Cup. I don't know if you'd seen that anywhere.
Hey, was it? That must be their first trophy for quite a few years, isn't it?
Well, you wouldn't know, would you? I couldn't say I've seen it anywhere. But a few links between the two clubs, obviously. We've got some far superior statues outside our ground, but we'll chat about some links of managers maybe and a couple of players. And there's going to be a very, in my opinion, a very good Ipswich Town quiz question later. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be quizzing David. And also yourselves. If you're watching or listening, I'll give you a little chance to, impress me in the comments or whatever, if you can get the answer. As ever, as I say every week.
Love it.
If you can stick us a message or a thumbs up, if you're at the game, a thumbs up and like and a subscribe if you enjoy what you're watching, etc., etc. That'd be fantastic. Saturday, the 16th of March, 2002, the last time we played Newcastle United in the Premier League away. What was number one in the charts, Dave? It was a Pop Idol winner. One of two then.
It's either Gates or Young, isn't it? Gates or Young. I'm going this time. I think last time I went for Gates. This time I'm going for Young.
You are correct, David. It was Will Young. Although he was at number one for 3 weeks with this particular song. And when there's then overtaken by the aforementioned Gates, who was number one for the next 4. So it was at that time of our musical history where Simon Cowell, was it Simon Cowell, Pop Idol? Was it the other mate?
No, it was that Nigel, other geezer, Nigel, Nasty Nigel. I don't know what his surname is. Not Pop Idol.
Yeah, possibly. I don't think it was aimed at our demographic, Dave, at the time.
I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was. Although it was obviously some years. We're talking 23 years
23
ago.
Years ago.
How? Will Young and Gareth Gates were mere youngsters, teenagers, just probably.
Well, I did look at the video of Evergreen at the double A side with Anything Is Possible, and Will Young looked very Will Young, shall we say.
No, he's changed. He has changed somewhat. But yeah, I love. Again, like looking back to this season as we do, it's like an old friend now. This season, isn't it? An old
It
friend.
is. It
Yeah.
is. Right. Cover star of the week. Now, when this gentleman popped up on my screen and I searched the program, I remembered that we were linked to this player at one point in time, and then we were linked to this player in December 2007. So Jim Magilton was in charge. This player was spotted, and this is a quote from the East Anglia Daily Times, was spotted lunching with Blues chief scout Charlie Woods in an Italian restaurant before going to watch the goalless draw with Burnley. Although Charlie Woods was quoted as saying, "This person was staying in London over the weekend and called me, so I invited him to the game. He's now gone back to France, and we have no more to add at the moment."
I mean, quite clearly, it's obviously Shearer, isn't it? Quite clearly. No. Oh God, who were you linked
He played
with?
he was a free agent, having just ended his contract at Levante, French winger.
No, not Robert. No, was it? No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there was an article in the East Anglia. I do remember it. I vaguely remembered it. He was 32 at the time. Yeah, and there was an article in the East Anglia to say that we were tempted to buy him. So
more
is.
of him in a minute. But oh my word, yeah, I must admit, I don't think I picked up on that at all.
Being chased there by last week's Gilles Gramondi, amongst others, I believe.
Yeah. Oh man, what a player! Well, at times I think he was one of these perhaps a bit hot and cold wingers, but my God, on his day, and as I say, more of it in a minute. But yeah, what a player!
Chaud and froid for our French listeners, very hot and cold. In terms of the league table, we'll get that up here. Our mid-season, as you've spoken about many times before, Dave, our mid-season upturn of form had come to an abrupt end with 3 straight defeats to a Chris Marsden-inspired Southampton, Leeds and Blackburn away.
I seem to remember we played Blackburn away. I think it was that week, that midweek prior to this game. Yeah, those 3 defeats were quite certainly damaging points wise, and obviously didn't do much for our goal difference either.
No, popped the bubble, didn't they? I think sadly
it did rather. It did.
And it's actually another bit, as I researched a little bit on TWTD in regards to the more recent matches, and there was a news article which popped up that Phil had written leading into this game saying that George Burley had commented on press speculation that Mauricio Taricco may be on his way back to Portman Road because the Argentinian, now if you can believe this, Dave, had been sent off in both his last 2 starts for Spurs and was having talks about his future with Glenn Hoddle.
Oh, don't you love him? Glenn Hoddle would love that. Love that. No, that's superb. Yeah, that is just superb. Yeah.
Right, lineups. I'll get ours up first, even though with the away team. Sixto Peralta returned instead of Magilton, and Marcus Bent came in for Alan Armstrong up front. Apart from that, Dave, is what it was.
Fairly familiar, isn't it? Fairly familiar. I think we've seen that before this season. I do like that front two. Front two? What's that? I hear you say. Front two? What's that? But yeah, I do like the look of that front two. Obviously, Stuart, we know what he was all about. But I always thought, Ben, as we said before in this season, continued on his goal scoring run. Spoiler alert in this game, but I just liked him. He was quite big, powerful, mobile, wasn't he? And obviously had an eye for goal. Yeah, like Marcus Bent. Yeah, that's a good, nice front two. That.
Yeah, and in terms of Newcastle, this is them. Bobby Robson's 100th match in charge of Newcastle in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Again, Cole Court up front, although he was replaced by Shola Amiobi during the course of the match and probably caused some confusion on the Newcastle bench.
The best, isn't it? Yeah, obviously. Shearer, I guess, starting to sort of wind down. I say wind down, not in this game so much, but, kind of. But anyway, coming towards the end, wasn't he there? As you said, the aforementioned Robert. Clarence Acuna there, again, more of him a bit later, the pantomime villain. And quite, I guess, fairly youngish Jermaine Jenas by that point. How long he'd been at Newcastle at that point from Forest, I don't know. And Solano, I always used to think he's quite a nice sort of direct winger. Look, one of these wingers stand up his fullback, get it out, and whipping crosses right footed. So, and obviously Shay Gibbon and Go was great servant for them. Great goalkeeper Shay Gibbon. So solid enough Newcastle team there.
And a couple of names on the bench. Kieran Dyer was on the bench along with Lamano Luar.
Saw that, saw that. Yeah, Dyer on the bench. Obviously, he's had his fair share of fitness issues, but he's certainly under Robson, I know. So yeah, good to see him back on the bench, I guess, really.
And the match itself, Dave, was quite an interesting and dramatic 2-2 draw. Twice went ahead ourselves through Marcus Bent.
Yeah, Marcus Bent, two quite similar goals, really, weren't they? I guess the second one, O'Brien gets himself in a bit of he had a big old kick, Serene. He sort of kicked that from just the sort of edge of his box right to the, not over his hands, right to the edge of their box. And mind you, it's probably windy up there. O'Brien gets caught out, and Bent slips it under Gibbon, as he very much did for the first one, following a flick from Stewart. Yeah. But in between, so the equaliser from them is a thing of. Or is it? Would you question the keeper there a bit?
Well, this is what I was going to ask. So the first half was 0-0, and Sereni made a few good saves in that half. I think from Solano and Court and the aforementioned Alan Shearer. So it was 0-0 at half time. Then, as you say, Marcus Stewart flicked it through to Ben, who showed some good pace, didn't he? And got about 45 yards from goal when he picked the ball up. And slipped it through Gibbons' legs.
Yeah.
But the free kick. And there was Shearer and Robert standing over it. And Sereni's pretty much holding on to the post, isn't he? He's really, really, really far over one side of the goal.
It is quite. It does sort of like he does. I mean, it's a great skill. I saw Muren take a few free kicks, and he's headed out Portman Road like this, where we know Robert's got an absolute thunder bastard of a left foot, don't we? But the ball, he just basically the wall's sort of set up, and you're right. Sereni is quite. Showing him that left's his left side, and it's one of these sort of clippy floaty. It's a great skill to get it over the wall, but it's like clipped and just floating and like curls away and just drifts in the far corner. Does it? It's really sort of.
He's like doing the old Paul Cooper show him the side trick from the penalty, but doesn't actually bother diving over to the side. He's showing the guy to put it.
Sereni thought, I don't think he's going to do that. It's a bugger. It's a great skill. Like I said, I saw Murin score a couple of those at Portman Road like that. But it's a good skill. But you question the keeper's one positioning to his command of the wall maybe there.
Yeah, so that was 1-1, and then as you said about the big hoof down the pitch from Sereni on 63 minutes, and the two centre halves got in a bit of a muddle, didn't they? To be fair, we, as you said at the very beginning, we have talked about this season an awful lot, and we've seen an awful lot of Ipswich Town defending that looks very similar to these two central defenders in a right old muddle and leaving the ball at the attacker's feet, don't we?
Yeah, no, it's kind of nice for one to go our way. However, obviously after that, I think it's as you would expect. This was all in 13 minutes. We go ahead on 58, but on 60, 63, we get the lead back, show good character. So I think I'm certainly remembering, sort of looking at the match report, it's fairly backs to the wall for the next sort of like 20 minutes or so, and then on 88, the aforementioned Robert gets the ball wide left from, I think it's Loire who's driving through. It just chips. This is a hell of a header, by the way. Again, it's a bit like his free kick, this cross, because he just like chips it up, doesn't it? Bloody hell. Shearer, who's had a couple of, to be fair, up prior to this, has had a couple of goals disallowed, one for pushing. I think both, actually. And then he just sort of, from like a vertical leap for Shearer on about 6 yards, just gets above Venus and absolutely powers a header in the top corner. It's a bloody hell of a header.
Yeah, it is a great header right in the top corner, isn't it? For 1-1. And then they get a chance to take all 3 points with a horrific challenge on Clarence Acuna in the box.
I mean, you can see by his face, Acuna with a cheating little You can see by his face, can't you, that afterwards, it's absolutely sucking. I think it was Venus, or maybe Holland.
Making it was.
Who was it? Sorry, making it was. You're right. Sorry, I did see that again. The ball's just floating in the box. It's a nothing ball. Not really cross. Just getting a ball in the box. Very little contact. He goes down, and it's like 90th minute or 91st maybe. Shearer, ball on the spot, 2-2. You're thinking, for God's sake, can his season? Season's just petering at the disaster. Ultimately, it did. Spoiler alert. But talk through the penalty, Craig.
Well, he misses the target, doesn't he? Can't believe it. He missed the match. Now,
scuffs it.
Yeah, he does. He scuffs it wide, and you can just tell that everyone in the crowd is expecting him to just slam it home, and it's just like a really weird.
For Shearer, it is, isn't it? Because usually Shearer's penalty technique, and we've seen this in shootouts and everywhere. It was absolutely, as you say, just back of the ball, whack. Middle of the goal, take the keeper with it almost. Yeah. But this one, I think maybe he's trying to out. I don't know. Maybe he's caught in two minds. But it's a horrible pen. He just drags it wide of the near post, doesn't he? Yeah. And poor old Robson afterwards, sort of shaking his head. So I've lost my house, didn't he? I've lost my house tonight. He said, "I bet my house. I'm homeless." He said, "That's brilliant comment." Bet my house on Shearer, as you obviously would. And so you do think again, as typical, a bit of a false dawn. You think, that might be the turning point. That might well be the turning point. We've had this little 3-game blip. Shearer misses, but it wasn't. Sadly, it wasn't.
Now, here's the thing, because I did some research into Alan Shearer's penalties, conversion rate, etc., and he got a decent. Well, it's 83.6%, Dave, as it goes. I don't wish to encroach on Seb and Rich's stat fest on a pre-match, but it's 83.6%. Now, there are reports saying that he's the most, or has scored the most penalties in Premier League history, which you probably understand.
Okay, yeah.
But when you look at the Premier League website, I should get it up.
Yeah,
he's not there.
Oh,
and neither is Matt Letizia.
What?
Now, could someone? This is the Premier League's official website screenshot I've got here. If someone in the comments can tell me why Alan Shearer and Matt Letizia aren't on this list of players,
you've stirred up a hornet's nest, Craig. A hornet's nest you've stirred up there, mate.
If the Premier League's penalty statistician is listening or watching, if you just let us know why they're not on that. And there's probably others. If those two aren't on there, there's probably a name I haven't even thought about.
Sorry, put you on the spot. How does Shearer's 83.6% stand up against the others, or haven't you got?
I did look into that. I think, but I haven't got the stats. But like Henry, obviously Letizia famously only missed one. Now that was that in the Premier League?
Obviously, like some of those outside. Yeah, some of those would have been. Would they? Letizia.
Division 1, maybe. I don't know. But like Henry's is 90-something%, for example. And there are a few that are like Leighton Baines has taken 10 and scored 9, etc.
Oh, yeah. So it's
players like that.
Isn't it? Yeah, Shearer's probably sheer volume of penalties, you'd guess, at 83%. Yeah, Henry's is probably just ridiculous, isn't it? But Shearer's must be up there.
Like Wayne Rooney's is down in the 70s sort of thing, so you wouldn't want Wayne Rooney taking your penalty.
No,
anyway, we're drifting off the topic.
But good stat, Craig. Good stat, mate.
Yeah, but I don't know why they're not on that list. And so if someone could let me know if I'm missing something obvious, that would be fantastic. In terms of the league table post-match, as you said, Dave.
Valuable point.
A valuable point, which would elongate things.
I mean, bugger all in the end, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Looking through that, yeah. It's about Man. Other than Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle, same old suspects, I guess.
Yeah.
Other than Man U,
we're done. And post-match, we spoke about being linked to Robert and Perico post-match. Pre-match, post-match. Titus Bramble was again linked with Newcastle in the tabloids, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got that one right, didn't they?
That would be firmed up in the summer, probably.
Yeah.
Right, perfect. We've done that to death.
That's for me.
We'll hear a quick note from our sponsors, and we shall be back for another draw, a Back to the Walls draw.
Blue Monday is brought to you in partnership with Ackwell Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for property and business law. Whether you're buying a home, starting a business, or just need legal guidance, our dedicated team has got you covered. Trust our award-winning customer service team to handle your legal matters with care and expertise. Find out more at atwells.com or visit us at our offices in Ipswich, Colchester, London, and our new location in Woodbridge.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you for that. Saturday, the 26th of November, 1994, my wife's 17th birthday for stat fans again.
Okay.
Can't remember what I would have got her. I'm sure it's like a diamond ring or something like that. Something very expensive, I'd have thought.
I'm sure it would have been. Yeah.
Number one in the charts. It wasn't a copy of this CD single. I can hasten to add a British breakbeat, hardcore, and house music group.
Probably not going to get that, am I?
Whose lead singer, Dorothy Fearon, was not the wife of former mulleted ITFC goalkeeper Ron, but she was the wife
Phil
of
Fearon of Galaxy.
Phil Fearon of Galaxy.
There, aren't I? That's my sweet spot. I couldn't tell you who this is. Go on. What's the song? I might know the artiste.
Let Me Be Your Fantasy.
Oh,
You know the song.
Yeah, I do. Baby something.
Yes, Baby D.
I wouldn't have got. Yeah, okay.
Baby D
yeah,
from David D.
There you
Yeah,
go.
good
Hey,
work.
not too
Lovely
bad.
stuff.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah.
In terms of the cover star, let's see what you can get this one then. A striker who played numerous times against us over the years. Leicester, Derby, West Ham, and would score against us later in the season for Newcastle, as it goes.
God. Oh God. I've gone.
I don't know if he's playing this match, Dave. So you're going to get no clues from the lineup. But
no clues from the lineup. Claridge.
No, Leicester,
No,
Derby, West Ham, Newcastle, black hair, goatee beard, 5'10".
Yeah. Go on, no. Kitson? No.
Paul Kitson.
Oh, Paul Kitson. There you go. Yeah.
Shortly about to be kicked in the air by Vinnie Jones, I'd imagine, in this photo.
Looks like he's lining one up. What I like about that, Vinnie Jones has got no eye on the ball at all.
He's got an eye on Paul Kitson's kneecaps.
He's absolutely right. Left or right? Where do you want it, son? Perfect.
Oh dear. In terms of the league table, we'd lost our previous two matches, 3-0 and 3-1, respectively, to Palace and Blackburn. Alan Shearer scoring one of the Blackburn goals in that 3-1 loss. And we were slap bang in the middle of a 9-match run without winning a game. Found ourselves rock bottom of the league with 10 points after 15.
Sadly, this was obviously, I think, Goddard, Paul Goddard, I think, was still in charge. So this was, when was this? 26th November 94. Oh, so George was just round the corner, wasn't he? Very, very soon coming in.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Paul Goddard was in charge of us, temporarily caretaker-y. Him and Walkie sort of.
It was a weird time.
It was, wasn't it? We didn't really know who was in charge of the team.
No.
Who was upstairs, etc. Kevin Keegan was in charge of Newcastle, but we'll get our crikey right. Pick the bones out of this. Now, I reckon, counting up, there are 6 defenders and a goalkeeper in this lineup. Plus George Williams.
Plus, Joe wasn't the most forward thinking. Forward play. George and Adrian Paz.
I've tried to squeeze all these defenders onto the pitch in some sort of formation.
Oh my God, look at that. Yeah, it was not the most as we said, forward thinking lineup, was it? Goodness me. Yeah, you know what you're gonna get with that, don't you? You really do.
And you say about Paz up front, and he's got a little bit of help there from Ian Marshall, but 15 minutes into the game, Ian Marshall gets injured and has to be replaced by Stuart Slater. So you're not really adding too much bulk to the.
I would say that
line.
Might be the most lightest of lightweight flypaper front two ever, probably. But my God, and I dare say Paz was probably up there on his own when his Slater was probably withdrawn a bit just to bulk up, just to fortify the defence again.
Yeah, quite. And in terms of Newcastle, even though Kevin Keegan's renowned for the flamboyancy of his team. There's you could pick out a few defenders in this team as well. To be fair, I've sort of put Steve Watson and Philippe Albert in midfield, but they could easily have been defenders. There's already 4 defenders in the team, so
yeah. I must admit, when I sort of looked at this game, the right back Hottiger completely passed me by. I don't. How many times he played for Newcastle, I don't recall him at all. The front two's it's a tasty front two, that, isn't it? Beardsley and Cole. Yeah. Peter Beardsley, what a player. I mean, we'll get on to Cole in a minute, but Beardsley, I love. There's a real just digressing very slightly. There's a 1 to 11 what they used to do on fantasy football, and it's Gary Lineker. And as his partner, he said, I love playing with Peter Beardsley. And whoever's interviewing him, I don't know, Max Rushton, whatever, say, why Peter Beardsley? He said, because he hated being in the penalty area. He said he left the penalty area all to me and just did his work outside, slipping balls here and there. He said, absolutely loved playing with Peter Beardsley. And yeah, what a great player.
He had the jink in him, didn't he, Peter Beardsley?
How? Him and Waddle had, I know we're digressing again, but Waddle kind of Newcastle, very much a Newcastle connection. They each had this kind of individual. Waddle had like the shoulder drop, didn't he? But Beardsley, I've never seen anyone else do what Beardsley did with that jink. Never seen anyone else do
like a
that.
2-shouldered jink, wasn't it?
It's weird, right? Almost incredible. Defenders knew but the beauty of that, defenders knew what he was going to do, but just couldn't do anything about it. It's made him so good. Great player.
Yeah, he was a great player. And as you said, up front with Andy Cole, who'd missed the last 5 games, and about 6 weeks later would head off to Manchester United, and poor old Kevin Keegan would have to be on the stairs of St James's Park quelling a riot, wasn't he? Live on Sky Sports News.
Yeah.
And on the bench was Alex Matthey,
who was
on the bench because, understandably, he couldn't displace Andy Cole or Peter Beardsley.
Yeah, so this was what, 6 weeks before? 6 weeks probably. Did he join us in January? Maybe a transfer window.
A couple of months.
So maybe February, early Feb. Yeah. So shortly to be joining us.
Yeah, that's right. Now, here comes my quiz question. That was going to be at the beginning. I promoed at the beginning of the show. Alex Matthey was not the only Newcastle striker we would sign in 1995, because in December of the same year, we would sign another striker who would play in the Norwich/Rob Ullathorne own goal match. Who was he?
Craig, you done me. You have absolutely done me. I assume he's not appearing in I haven't missed Peter Beardsley or Andy Cole signing, have I? No, that's certainly not happening. Man.
He made his debut in the Anglo-Italian Cup versus Salernitana in December 95. And as I say, he only played 3 times for Ipswich, and possibly his last game was in the Rob Ullathorne have a miskick Brian Gunn.
That was a different season. Was it Craney? Was that a different? Was it Jerry Crane? Different season, wasn't it?
Please feel free to shout at your telly or screens. Everyone who is watching,
give us another clue, Craig. The others are shouting at it. They won't know. It's too early on an Easter Monday morning. Give me another clue,
mate. I can't give you many more. He didn't play for Newcastle. He went. Name. I think he went to Swansea after us and played 120 times for Swansea. But mate, I'll get him up. It's Richie Applebee.
Man, no way in a million years would I have got that. No way in a million years.
No, me neither.
He played in the Rob. His son. He played in the Rob. Never in a million years would I have got that. My God,
crazy, isn't it?
Would you have got that?
No, never.
No way, no chance. I mean, honestly, anyone who gets that. I mean, Joe Fairs would probably be all over that, Joe. Yeah, but mate,
if he does, he's lying. There's no way in the world. There's no way in the world he's getting that,
mate. No way on earth would I got that.
I don't reckon Richie Applebee's mum knew that he played in that game.
Wow, yeah. And actually came on a sub. I mean, that is a game, isn't it? Came on a sub in that Ullathorne in that Ullathorne game, mate.
Apparently so.
No. mate.
So
Honestly.
in terms of the match day, there's not an awful lot to talk about. I don't think in the match it was 1-1, and there were lots of shots on our goal, and there were chants of boring Ipswich right up to the 86th minute, where the ball is fired into Andy Cole's feet, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes you say keeper shouldn't get beaten on his near post, but I think in this instance, it's not great. To be fair, it's not great defending because the ball's. I mean, he's pinged into him, isn't he? And he shows instant control, sort of like on the edge of the box, to the right side, on the edge of the box. I'm not sure whose is it. It may have been looking at that. It may have been perhaps Yowds and Whelan, perhaps,
Yeah,
who's perhaps trying to nick it. But he controls. He's allowed to turn, or he does turn. Probably muscles his way, turns. And this is a rifle, isn't it? I say rifles it in the near post. My God, it goes in with some power. And obviously, they're finally broken out, breached our defence, which, as we said, has been pretty low, the lowest of the lowest blocks up to that point. And you can see by his celebration, oh, we've done it, absolutely, got the points. However, I think probably looking at the description of the game, the report on the game, one of our only forays into their half, let alone their box. I mean, Klaus Thompson. I mean, again, not great.
Two great finishes, aren't they? Say the turn from Andy Cole is a good turn to send Whelan the wrong way.
Spins.
And tuck it in. And then, Klaus Thompson is fed through. And we talked last week about Freddie Ljungberg and his diagonal run. And this is a good diagonal run from a guy who's played centre half to be marauding through midfield.
I think it's Mason who slips that ball through. It's a really good, nice kind of reverse pass. He's run across his man, across the edge of the box, but he's still got a lot to do, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he sort of holds off. Who would it be? I'm not sure who. It might have been Nielsen. I'm not sure who he. I'm sorry. Yeah, it might have been Nielsen who he holds off there. But basically, then sort of turns inside. He's about 8 yards out, and then as Cernicek comes out to sort of close the angle down, about to drop on the ball, he sort of slides it and curls it in the far corner. It's a hell of a finish. What I love about this, talking back to the wall, I did on the the town book, just look back on that sort of like the report on the town book, and there's always a couple of sentences about the game. And Kevin Keegan described Town as non-league hoofers. Non-league hoofers, he called us. So I think that kind of sums it up, really.
Yeah, well, the non-league hoofers tucked a point away in their pocket and ran down the tunnel before the ref could start the match, I think.
Yes, that's right, isn't it? That's absolutely right. Absolutely ran away. Absolutely took about had their pockets pinched. Yeah, Keegan was not happy about that, bless him.
Very much so. But the non-league hoofers, it didn't make too much difference to
it didn't make too much difference at all to the non-league hoofers, did it? I think
no. And actually
Newcastle went on to finish 6th, sort of well adrift, 72 points I think they got.
Yeah, I think I was looking at a Newcastle website about the match, and they were saying that around Christmas time they were one of the favourites for the league, but they'd started to sort of drift around about New Year time, and started to fall down the table.
It was our display. We sucked all the optimism out of them, didn't we? Non-league hoofers, I love that.
Put a dent on an entire season. While I was searching for the Premier League penalty takers, Scoundrel, I noticed that we hold a record for this season, the most Premier League goals conceded in an away season we did here. So well done to us. 59 goals in 21 matches, which is some feat considering we played 7 defenders in each. Match.
I mean, the 9 at Old Trafford didn't do that any favours. There's 3 games worth in one there, isn't it? But it was. We said all along, our other friend this season, which has been the 93-94 season, how much better and less embarrassing had bloody Mark Steen not scored that goal at Stamford Bridge, and at least we'd gone down with a bit of dignity, for Christ's sake.
And not been labelled the following season of various names by various managers when we decided not to turn up and not play football against them.
It's just horrible, wasn't it? Absolutely horrible. And I just before we just focus on it, just as we do, I'm not going to go into this in any great detail. The last time we won there, so the last time we won a top flight game at St James's Park was the 24. Well, we're getting into glory, getting towards glory here. 25th of February, 1978. Can you believe? And we won 1-0, and it was via a Clive Woods, a rare thing. I don't think I ever saw one of these. Like a Clive Woods header, for goodness sake. Not known for his prowess in the air. Clive Woods header, won 1-0, which just seen a couple of comments from Robson on that game. We really needed that game and that win. Ultimately, as we know, we're going to win the FA Cup, but only finished 3 points, I think, above relegated West Ham. And the other thing about that season, which again sums up that season, that was our only away win all season.
Wow.
Bloody hell, we got more of those this season.
You're comparing the current team to Robson's team of.
No, I'm not comparing them at all. No, not obviously not at all. But so how can I put it? We're due a win at St James's Park. Might not be this season, but you never know.
Well, stay tuned, everybody, because as ever, Rich and Seb will be talking about the Newcastle match in their pre-match show, probably on Thursday night, I would have thought, live. And then Dave, Joe and Ben will no doubt be back at some point over the weekend, Sunday night, to talk about the win that Dave has just promised everybody.
Man, that could be... Okay, yeah, I must admit, again, spoiler, I watched them dismantle. Who was it in the week? Was it Palace they played in the week? Newcastle, it was, wasn't it? Was it Palace 5? Was it Palace?
I don't know. Well, they lost at the weekend. They got beaten by Villa, didn't they, yesterday?
Yeah, they did. But I watched them dismantle someone 5-0 midweek. Yeah,
yeah, they were doing okay without Eddie, weren't they? But then I think they come up short.
Yeah, Villa. But yeah. So yeah, we're due a win, but I'd suggest let us not hold our breath in anticipation.
Ah, well. If nothing else, we'll have the Klaus Thompson shithouse draw to reminisce about. If nothing else,
brilliant,
wonderful. Well, I'd say no doubt we will be back for Everton away. You know, we've got a few choices. Dave, you've got
some. I mean, just like with a happy Premier League hunting ground, I'd say, for us.
Yeah, and we haven't got many of those. Really. Well, wonderful. Thank you very much for your time, Dave, first and foremost. Thank you very much for everyone for watching or listening. As I say, if you could just give us a thumbs up or whatever you need to do, that'd be fantastic.
Cheers, mate. I'm now going to spend the next hour studying Richie Applebee's Wikipedia page.
It will not take you 1 hour, David. This has been the Rewind Show on Blue Monday, an Ipswich Town podcast. We will see you next time.